Originally, the exclusives video was going to be talking about all the exclusives in a review setting. Mrs. Wheeler's just decided to start cutting the grass. The video ended up being far too long to basically amount to these are all repaints, so I thought let's do a tier list instead. Okay, I can't tell if that's what you can hear in the background or if it's the fan of the laptop, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be nattering away over this. I will be talking about the exclusives a bit more in depth as we get to them. Maybe a cutaway, little review, but I imagine the bulk of it will probably come in the form of a short in the future. Also, I'm not going to say much about the Velocitron lineup because I've got something special planned for that. But anyway, let's just get straight into it. Blaster, repack. He's a repack of the Kingdom one. I can't remember if when I did the Kingdom tier list what I put him under because he was technically the Legacy one. Check that, and if I haven't mentioned it there, I like Blaster. Blaster's solid. Hot Rod, repack. Optimus repack. I have both of those from Kingdom. Goldbug. This is a repaint of the Netflix Bumblebee. I'm going to put him in B tier. While that mold is nice, and I'm one of the people who's more likely to defend it, the QC on Goldbug is just in the bed. The chest won't tab together. Put Ransack in A tier, to be honest, because while the Insecticons I've spoke about in the past, and I've said they're a bit underwhelming, that kickback mold, at least I think it's kickback, that one grew on me. And this repaint with this new head and all that sort of stuff really adds a lot of character to him. I quite like it. This is one of the exclusives. It's in the same pack as this. I'm going to say B. He'd be a C tier because that Scorponok, I can't remember what I originally said about it, but that Scorponok, the color scheme and the alternate head really elevate that above the original, but not drastically. Waspinator, or sorry, Sky Wasp, I think this is. Same rules apply to him. I prefer the original head over the alternate head for this mold, so he can go next to the Scorponok. I like the two of them. I like the Skywarp based color scheme. Wow, we're just getting the exclusives right off the fucking bat. Alpha Trion. I'm going to put Alpha Trion. I'm going to put him in B tier. I'll put him in high B tier. I like that Scourge mold, and I really like the fact that they decided to turn it into Alpha Trion. This is skipping ahead a year, but I've also just got Ratbat, and I think the retools and the repaints of that mold work a lot better than the original. Base Belt mode is whatever, but it's the robot mode where it really kind of comes out and comes to shine. It's just a shame we didn't get a DevCon from it. If I'm going on opinion based, he goes F. I don't think he's an F tier figure, but I don't like that mold for Orion. I think it's far too twiggy and dorky, and it looks good for Orion. It doesn't feel like Captain America with Steve Rogers pre and post serum. It just feels off. I didn't buy Red Cog. Apparently I might be getting it in a trade eventually, and I'm looking forward to that because I like Cog. The colour scheme looks nice, the accessory looks nice. This Bulkhead, didn't buy this one. I didn't see the purpose in buying that one. I was quite happy with the original. I think this is meant to be Impactor. Same rules apply, didn't get him. I didn't see the purpose in buying a third or fourth version of Impactor. I think that's the fourth. Yeah, that's the fourth version of Impactor, and the only thing that changed was the head and the tone of the paint. Didn't see the point. G2 Leadfoot, he's the only other one out of that lineup that I wanted, and I just haven't got around to getting him yet. Maybe one day, maybe not. Master Dominus. Oh, low B. I'm going to put Master Dominus. Actually, I'm going to do Spindle as well while I'm here. They're both low B. Fossilizers are insanely unique and fun, but that's where, if you don't have the novelty of dinosaur bones, that's where it wears off. Positives, the color schemes and the fact that they're not just another Triceratops and another T-Rex are really good. Negatives, they're very loose and they're very worn and they're showing their age a lot. Springer didn't get. I don't know what it is. I saw the promo images and I'm like, that looks fucking yellowed, so I said no. I'll probably end up getting the SS86 one. Twin Twist, I think. I didn't buy this one. I had the original from Titan's Return. I've heard people say this one's really bad. The QC on this just absolutely shit the bed. So Legacy Laser Optimus. Let's go middle of the road B. It doesn't do enough to hold its own weight up. I'm not going to sit here and defend it because it's not worth defending. I personally like it, and if someone doesn't, then I think that's a good place to kind of draw the line on that one. I don't think anyone's passionate enough to love or hate that one. Buzzsaw. Okay, I'm going to put Buzzsaw and Sandstorm as a high C. So, like the two above, these ones weren't exclusive, released individually. Funnily enough, they were one of the last times Hasbro ever used plastic windows on Transformers. Color schemes on these two don't quite pop as much as the ones above. The molds are the same. I found the paint on Buzzsaw, it looked like it bled through quite a lot, like the plastic on paint just kind of didn't quite work. Sandstorm's flesh toned with The purple on him is nice. The orange on him, yeah, okay. The flesh tone, I'm like, nah, that's rank. That's disgusting. I will say my Sandstorm does have a problem with the elbow where it feels so stiff, like it's going to break if I bend it, which isn't ideal for a figure with a Scorpion alt mode, so they can go and see. Holly and Fire, they're low D. The paint applications on those two, especially Holly, are really nice, but the QC is just the good thing about these ones is they just came as part of a set. They weren't like an individually released pack. I think I'd have been a lot more stricter on it then. Flesh Tone Dinobot. I didn't buy this one. The Kingdom one's enough for me, and I don't like him looking like a plucked chicken. Blue Streak. This was one of the sort of miscellaneous exclusives that I actually did buy. No, sorry, Silver Streak. I'm going to put Silver Streak in A. Color scheme's really nice. It's my only exposure to the Earthrise Datsun mold. I kind of like to consider Silver Streak as the Datsun sister because it's the same figure but slightly different. Didn't buy this Pterosaur. I feel like I probably should have bought that Pterosaur. Maybe it would have improved my relationship with Pterosaur. That Pterosaur from Kingdom. I don't know if it was QC or mold degradation, but it really hurt the figure, and I don't know if this would improved on that. Maybe I should have gave it a go. This is Commander Menasor / Motormaster. I am going to give it a high A. By no means is it a perfect figure, but like the Motormaster is such a stray away from what they've done in the past, and Menasor was such an inventive way to approach combiners. It works really well. He's not perfect, but as far as commanders go, he's probably lower end of the scale. Bombburst is just a goofy little guy. I said enough about him in the review. I didn't get many core class figures from this unless it was a completely new character. That G2 Megatron did look nice, but I wasn't the biggest fan of that Megatron. And the G2 color scheme, while it is iconic in its own right, and I'm not going to try and take that away or diminish that, doesn't do much for me. I'm going to call Iguanus as a high B. Iguanus is solid. The alt mode's a bit and the robot mode is not perfect, but I think Iguanus works very well for what he is. Core Shockwave, didn't buy, same with Skywarp. I'm not really interested in tracking down miniature versions of bigger characters. It was one thing when Legends existed and they only cost like £3 or £4. That was one thing, but now they're the price of an old deluxe. I'm not always looking for that, so, you know, I'm a bit more selective with my core class. Point Blank's an F. Point Blank's a fucking F. I over-exaggerate my disdain for this figure a little bit because it's funny, but he is just such a genuine misfire. The thing with him, right, Needle Nose came out the next year, did the same thing and did it better. Needle Nose retroactively changed just how much I dislike Point Blank. Before was like, he's a bit shit. Now he's just hideous. RC can sit in C. RC's not a particularly good version of that RC, and like I said in the review, I sold it and then I bought another one because, you know, they start coming out with Cliff Jumper and Breakdown. So I'm like, okay, so they're now coming back to Prime stuff. Maybe I'll just get RC back and kind of embrace that miniature Prime collection. Not the biggest fan of Prime. Can appreciate some of it. You know what? For enjoyment level, I'm going to put Dragstrip in A. He's simple, he's straightforward, he's very monochrome, but how many figures have an intentional feature where you can bisect the toy like movie jazz? Plus his alt mode's really fun. Alita can go. Not the biggest fan of the car mode. The robot mode feels a little bit limited, but not enough that I would hate the figure. Sometimes things are just limited by kibble or by design and articulation, all that sort of stuff. I can't hold that against it. Also, I'm realizing Minerva isn't here. Minerva would probably get the low A. She's just a really nice repaint with a really nice head sculpt. Knockout for me is a low A. Yes, he's not what everyone wanted. Yes, he's not as good as he could have been, but I think he's very solid and I'm very happy with what he is in the grand scheme of things. I can't remember his name. I didn't buy him. Skids can get the low C because that mold only ended up getting better. Just with Skids, it was boring, it was bland. Wild Rider is a B. Crankcase, see, this is what I'm talking about immediately after Skids. Like, Crankcase I'd probably put in B. Dead End can get a high B. Skullgray gets the A. The thing is, when they do out there wacky, goofy as stuff, when it lands, it's fantastic. When it crashes, it just fucking sinks. Skullgrin achieves what he sets out to do, and I think that adds a lot to it. Blitzwing's getting a B. The robot mode, if all three modes were perfect, he'd be an S. One of the modes is pretty jank, the other one's a bit off-putting, so okay. take him down to A. And then the robot mode, while really nice, and the accessories, while really good, apart from the fucking face, it's got some weird limitations on the articulation. I think B is a comfortable place to put him. Trans Metal Megatron, I think S. I think he deserves that, because while he's not the best thing ever, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up the arse and be like, he's the most fantastic figure to ever grace our screens. He's one of the most solid, consistent, and simple of these figures, and he does a lot with it. He takes it and he fucking legs it. So, he gets the point. I really like Metroplex, but I don't think he's S material. I would say he's a low A. Okay, I think the rest of these are all Velocitron figures, so I'm just going to put them in places and I'm not going to comment on them. I will be coming back with a review for them in the future, so you're just going to have to sit tight, I'm afraid. Didn't buy either Soundwave. That one was a Kingdom Core repack, which I've got, and this one was a repaint of the Siege Soundwave, which I've got the Netflix one. I will probably buy that new one that's just been announced. That's one way to date this video immediately. Cunt. But yeah, I'll probably buy that new Legacy United repack that's been revealed, in hopes that it will rectify my poor yellow bastard of a boy, my poor jaundiced son, Armada Starscream. Goes in the low tier of B. I can't let emotional bias get in the way. For what he is, he's probably the weakest of the Armada revival. Prime Legacy Bulkhead. Okay, so as a Prime Bulkhead, he's shit. As any pre-established Bulkhead, he doesn't work. As his own thing, I think he's an A tier. Inferno. Inferno, as I said, grew on me, which is why he's earned himself a place in high B. I'm going to say G-Axis is an A. Mine hasn't yellowed, so that will impact my experience, or should I say greened. I know a lot of people, when I put up that review, a lot of people chimed in saying, oh, but mine yellowed. And I'm like, I get that'll be enough to temper anyone's enjoyment of a figure. Same as me with Netflix Soundwave, same as me with Kingdom Cyclonus before I traded him out. Yeah, yellowing can make a big difference, especially on a figure that's meant to be white. Victory Leo. He's just a boring accessory. That's all he is. That's all he amounts to. He's just an accessory to bump it up to Titan price. But this Galvatron, this is the version of Galvatron that is the most perfect of all, unless I'm counting like the Gen Selects ones or whatever. But I also get a lot of enjoyment out of this Galvatron, so I'm going to put him there. I have no problems with him. I think he looks good in my collection. I don't know if you can see him just there. I think he looks good. Broad and intimidating and articulated, and his alt mode is fun. And last, but certainly not least, Starsaber. Starsaber on his own, to me, is an S tier figure. Like, this is the thing that gets me with that Victory Saber set, which, check out the last video in case you didn't see it. Starsaber on his own is great. I love him. But that's where we're at. That is my, hopefully now completed, yes it is, that is me, apart from Minerva, who I forgot. Legacy Year 1 tier list. If you guys want to do this on your own, I'll put a link in the description and you guys can fill in your own one. And that will probably round up my Legacy coverage for now. Eventually I want to kind of do one of those retrospectives where I kind of look back at everything. I think I'll probably wait until United's finished and just do a big fucking one covering all three. I think that makes the most sense. As I say, the Velocitron figures, they're going to get their own little video. The exclusives, I'll probably cover in shorts, because there's no point dedicating. Like, the video I recorded ended up being like 21 minutes long after I cut out about 25 minutes worth of excess audio. That's a lot to say. This is a repaint. It's nicer. This is a repaint. It's shire. You know, it's unnecessary. So I'm not going to do a full dedicated video like I said I would. I'll probably do the shorts on them. I'll do a Velocitron video, and maybe I'll do some drop-in little random reviews. Talk about Silver Streak and talk about Alpha Trion in their own videos, just to kind of, you know, talk about them a bit more, because they're a little bit more involved. So, but I'll leave that there. I've yangled on enough. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much if you checked out the rest of the Legacy series. What did you guys think of this line? What did you guys think of these videos? Please feel free to let me know, and I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you later. Cheers.